What's up everyone, I'm Silas. Welcome to my YouTube channel Arc Studio. If you like undergraduate to architecture and design, like, share and follow to Arc Studio. So today we will be discussing about a parametric furniture design out in Grasshopper and Rhino. So let's begin. So first of all, this would be like a tutorial that would help you understand Grasshopper as well. And for today's class, we will be using something like a plugin known as a weaverbird and for designing and then we will basically also see how this is done with a step-by-step understanding about each tools as that has been used in Grasshopper as well. Okay, so let me go to the shaded view. I guess that this is just a sort of a little more advanced level of teaching because you should normally know Rhino a little so as to understand what is happening in Grasshopper. Okay, because this is like they are so called twin brothers, like they work with hand in hand. So because of that, so I'm going to the shaded view of this so that you can basically see what is going to happen out here. Okay, I'm just moving this aside and just keeping it ready. Now first thing is, so if you want to create something like this, first thing that we do is we need to have a box. Okay, so the for typing about the box, what you just need to do, if you don't need to type a command or so, just double click and just type on it. Okay, so the for box command, normally I use something known as a domain box, which gives me more control. Okay, domain box, I'm just entering it, so you can see that something like this has been formed on your Rhino. So whatever you're doing in Grasshopper will just reflect on your Rhino screen as well. Okay, then this shows me like 4 points. One is a base. In normal condition the base will be 0 0. If you want you can change it. Then you have x, y and z coordinates. So first thing what I'll do is I will have a slider. Okay, I will have a digit that we going to be put which shows cases the x, y and z coordinate. So for me now I am just keeping it as 10. Okay, when you type 10 you will get a slider like this, which will be which would move up and down, which would really helpful when you are trying to do animation as well in the Grasshopper. Okay, if you want something like a dynamic facade also, the sliders would also be converted into animators as well. Okay, now I'm just connecting these four, so you can see that this is what happens in our Grasshopper with the help of Grasshopper. Grasshopper is like a chain of series of instructions that you give so as to bring something out in Rhino. Okay, so now you've created a box. So next process is you need to twist this box so as to gain this sort of a design. Okay, you need to twist it at an angle of 90 degree. Okay, so how can you do that? For that, you need to add a command known as twist. Double click it and add twist. Okay, you can see there's something known as twist. When you click on it, you will see that for twist to work, you require minimum three commands. One is a geometry, one is the axis, and second one is the angle. Okay, so the geometry is nothing but this box. Okay, second one is the angle. So there is by default it is in radian, so you need to convert it into degree. So just left click on the angle position. You can see there is an option known as degree out here. Just click on degree and then I'm just typing 90 as a slider and just connecting it. Okay, so I connected. Now I require axis. For axis you guys need to think how it is gonna work. Okay, so this is a point 0 0 and you need this to be rotated in an angle 90 degree from the center through a line. Okay, you need a line which would be instructed as an axis, which helps it to rotate. Okay, so for that I will give a line that is known as a line SDL. Okay, you can see there is a line SDL. So this line would be the axis for me, and this will define a start point and the length of it. Okay, you require minimum two direct length, the start point as well as the length. For the start point, what I'll do is I will go to uh, the vector tab out here, the fourth one, and from here there is a point known as construct point. Okay, I'm giving this, and this basically will help me define the point of start. Okay, the point where you need to start. Okay, so I'll just give this as the start point. So now you can see what has happened. So out here by default it is 0 0 0. Okay, so what happened is this has been rotated in this point by at this point. Instead of the length, it has basically, there is no length, so it is basically rotated at this point. Okay, so I will give at a point 5 till the midpoint. This one's midpoint, XY coordinate midpoint I'll give. So that is 5. So I'm just giving this as X and Y coordinate. And you can see that it just rotated at this point, okay, at this center point. And I can give a point 0 for the Z. If it is not given also, no effect, no same will be only there. I'm just adding it so that I can teach you guys. Next is the length. The line's length is nothing but the length of the table. So for that, I'll just add the slider's length, or you can basically give the length a separate slider as well. You can give a separate slider of 10 as well onto this. Got it? So this is also possible. Fine. So this much you got how to twist a geometry as well uh, in this tutorial. So next is I will add something like a weaverbird mesh. Okay, this is no, this before adding weaverbird mesh, we need to understand that now this is in a nub form. Okay, now we need to break this and create a mesh, and this mesh has to be made into a weaverbird. You need to add the thickness for it, and then you need to go for the final touch-ups. So okay, this is the flow that we need to follow. Okay, so understood. First you just need to break the geometry, because this is now a nub one. So you know that nub and there is mesh. So what I need to do is, for weaverbird to work, we require something known as a mesh. For that, what I'll do is I will do deconstruct prep. There's an option known as deconstruct prep. Okay, here. Okay, I just got deconstructed. This connecting this to the geometry. So you can see that there is a lot of everything is on. Okay, that is why you can't understand which one is on and off. So I'll just select all. If you click on the center of your mouse, something like this will happen. And this is disabled preview. This will help us to only see the last and final outputs. Or else all the inputs and outputs which are being seen will be always keeping on seeing. So it will make you difficult to understand what is the final outcome. Okay, I'll just use this so that you can see that a clear, much better view is been of. And now what we need to do is we need to create a mesh. Okay, we broke everything now. Now what we need to do is we need to add a mesh. So there is not as a mesh surface. I'm adding this mesh surface as the face, and I am going to add a UV count. UV means that X and Y axis ka count. So that I'm just giving it as like 5, and just adding this as the U and the V. Cool. Then I'm just disabling this as well. So you can see there is something that has happened. If you slide this up and down, okay, you can see something is happening, right? So that is what I just made. I just divided the points in it. And next is I need to join this meshes. Okay. So before joining this meshes, I will flatten this mesh. Okay. For that, you can go here and just flatten it. Okay. So this flatten and this methods are basically used so as to give it a more control. Okay. You can do it at the last as well, or on the flow, because I already know the flow that is being done, so that I've just flattened it. And then I will just go create a I just joined this meshes. Now each mesh is basically broken and created a single faces. That is what has happened right now. So I'll just join all the face with the weaver bird mesh, WB mesh. Sorry, join WB. Okay, weaver bird mesh join mesh. Yeah, is there. So I'm just adding this, and then what I'll do is I will give a framework for this mesh with the help of weaver bird frame. There is something known as picture frame. Okay, so if you join this, you can see that now you can see there is a division that has happened in the x y z axis. Okay, so I'm just using this, disabling it. Now you can see that there is something like a mesh difference. Okay, there is like a mesh that is being created. So if I slide this down and up, you can see that this helps us in regulating the xy side, and basically the number of divisions that is there in it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a thickness to it. Okay, let it be 1.11. Okay, let it be 1. I'm just adding the thickness. Okay, so you require more thickness, so I'm just deleting it, giving it as 10, connecting it. So you can see that there is some a good thickness is being added. Okay, and now what I need is I need to, now this is basically the offset that is done. It is basically offsetted the points that is been there, right? Now I need to add a depth to it or thickness to it. For that I'll use WB thickness, mesh thick, and connect this mesh to this. Okay, so you can see that something really bad has happened. This is nothing but it is a bigger size has been come up. So I'll just give it as 1. I'll connect this. So now you can see that it is becoming into shape. You can regulate this slider so as to get the better. Okay, so I just changed it to 0.5, and then let us now what we need to do is we need to smooth it. So one of the command that is used is subd. You can know that is subdividing the mesh so as to create a smooth surface. Okay. For that, if you go to weaverbird, this is the W. If you see that is done as a weaverbird, and then you can just see something that is weaverbird Catmer Clark subdivision. So this is the subd that is being used out here, and I'll just connect this subd out here. You can see that I'm just turning off the preview of this. So you can see that it has become something really cool. That is some more stuff that is really interesting has come out. But it is not so smooth. So what for smoothing it, what we do is this is basically in a curve 1. Okay, we need to change the curve to level 3. So I'm just giving a slider of 3 and connecting it. You can see that now it is smooth. You can see if it is 2 means it is some more, 1 it is more difficult, 2 it is some more, and 3 it is some more of interesting thing. And one more thing that I always recommend everyone is whenever you're working weaverbird or so, always keep it in low quality. Okay, out from here there is a blue this thing, always keep it in low quality. If you keep it in high quality, it will always take a lot of graphic cards of your lap or so. Okay, so now I've got this slider. Okay, so now you can change the X and Y from here. 1, 2, 3, like 3 is really looking bad, but 2 and 1 is really interesting. Got it? So that you can do that. You can change the angle of twist as well from here. Okay, it is 90 right now, 99, 100. You can basically, according to your wish, you can change it. You can also change the mesh thickness. Okay, you can change the mesh thickness. You can change the distance as well, the thickness of the mesh as well, the offset of the mesh as well, and also the curve. Okay, now you got a really interesting shape of this, right? So now what I need to do is I need to give a preview of the result. For result, last one that you do is you just add a custom preview. Add a custom preview, enter it, just connect the geometry. That is the final output. Just connect this geometry so you can see that you got the geometry. Now you can add the material. For adding material, so normally in default mode it will be basically a pink color that will come up. If you want to change it, you can basically add a color swatch. Okay, color swatch. Okay, there is a color swatch. I'm just adding it, adding this as the material. You can double click it and change the color as well. Now I'm just keeping it as a red. Okay, value. Okay, I can make it transparent or so according to your wish. So now it looks interesting. And once it is done, you can go to the render view as well. Okay, now you can see that it has been rendered. And if you want to import this into your Rhino file, so what we do is we just select on this image which is there, left click it, then you can see something option known as bake. So bake is nothing but it will help you to now if you see that if I off this preview, if I select it and just click on the and just see disabling the preview, this stuff will start going off. Okay, sorry, this is in render mode. I'll just go to the shaded mode. Look, it will start missing. Got it? So it to not miss, what we do is we made is disable. We need to always make sure that it is in form, and we need to bake it. For baking it, just left click it, bake it, give OK, and this will get formed on your Rhino screen. This will be baked on your Rhino screen. Okay. So baking is a technique that is used so as to transfer anything from Grasshopper to Rhino. Now this you can't modulate this in Grasshopper, but you can control this in Rhino. So this is what has been done. Then you just need to add a rectangle on top of it and just change the material to glass. So that's how you complete it. And with that, I'm just concluding the class for today. Thank you and have a nice day. If you liked it, subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Take care.